Okay.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Village of Marvin Parks Recreation and Greenway Board meeting here on Tuesday, April 13th at 9:06 a.m. I do determine that we do have a quorum with myself, Bob Nunnenkamp, Christina Culp, and Dan Wilson present. And we also have our council liaison, Kimberly Vandenberg, present as well. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. And any questions, updates, requests as far as the adoption of the agenda?
Sure.
Do I hear a motion on the table to adopt the agenda as it is written?
So moved.
Need a second?
So moved.
Christina?
Any further discussion?
I'll count that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, the next is the adoption of the 3/2/21 and 3/23/21, which was the joint meeting with council. So those minutes were included in our previous package. Are there any questions or updates to those minutes? Then do I hear a motion on the table to adopt the minutes from 3/2/21 and 3/23/21 joint meeting with council as they are written?
So moved.
Need a second?
Need a second?
Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor say aye.
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 All right. Moving on to the public comment period. And
We have no public.
we have none here. Is there anybody online?
No.
No? Okay. So no public, no comment. Next, we move on to the Public Facilities Manager's update. Item number 1 is discussion of a volunteer work date on the 17th of April. And Derek, this is you.
We have a volunteer work day this Saturday from 10 to 12. Christina has a speaker that will be in the community garden with her. And then we have 2 small projects we're going to work on. Finishing some cleanup in the community gardens and putting some mulch in Mary's
I'm
flower
afraid the
garden.
speaker might be me.
What happened?
What happened?
I said I'm afraid the speaker might be me.
That's awesome.
I'm plan B until we
Oh.
can find a plan A.
Okay.
What happened to our plan A?
We're still trying to convince our plan A. It'll be fine.
All right.
I think Bob should do it then.
Oh, no. She's much more qualified than I am, trust me.
What time is the volunteer work day again? I already forgot.
10 to 12?
10 to 12.
That's right. Okay.
But Christina will be there. She's going to run point, and my new maintenance supervisor, Mike Hill, will be there as well.
Okay. And while we have volunteers all kind of gathered,
Mike Hill.
might just remind
Dan,
them
can you
of
hear
next
them?
Saturday too.
Yeah, Dave and I cannot really hear you guys very well at all.
Yeah. We're gonna have to speak up. We can't do very much because this isn't as
Oh, it's not as long.
I think I have an extension cord, but I have to go wrestle it out of a box.
We should be okay.
Yeah, maybe just kind of
Just
put the
Yeah,
whole
put all the
pile of
books.
books and put them on the.
And talk
because
loud.
It might just be.
Hey, everyone's gonna have to speak up. So
Talk loud,
yeah.
people.
Can you hear us
What
now?
else to hear you? That's funny. You're being sneaky, you know.
oh my gosh.
All right. So anything further on that, Derek? Anyone else? All right. Moving on to unfinished business items. Item number 1 is an update on major subdivision sketch plan for the estates at Marvin Branch. And Austin, I guess you'll be taking this in Rohit's place?
There's not much to say other than that after our conversation at the last meeting, the developer has added easements to the sketch based on the feedback we're given. They still need to talk with Marvin Creek about potentially connecting to their subdivision. but this is
Now,
the
are
part
we gonna do that, or is the developer gonna do that?
that I'm not sure of. But they still need to coordinate with them. There's going to be a public input meeting in the future. This is still really early in the process, which is just kind of informational.
Can we see the map with the easements on there?
I got this pulled up here. And share the screen.
Can you describe the legend to us, Austin?
Hold on one second. Share. Okay. So what did you say, Mark?
Where's the easement for the trail?
It's the gray line on here.
Okay.
It's the gray line. It's the L-shaped line for coming from Marvin Creek, connecting to where the 6 mile Greenway will eventually be in Mecklenburg County, and going across the property all the way to Joe Carr Road.
Okay, yeah, so that's the one we were talking about, potentially connecting the 6 mile, just that little stub there. Okay.
Is there a planned sidewalk in the front that goes across the front, or just down the side and the back?
What do you mean?
Like, is there gonna be a sidewalk that goes across the front?
I think we were talking about just connecting across the street, because the loop will eventually be across the street.
Okay.
That sound right, Derek?
So do you mean across the street?
On Joe Carr Road,
right
which should be the
yeah.
loop coming around eventually.
And we should hopefully have the,
So is that just that other gray area, just like a
That's their-
buffer planted?
It looks like-
Yeah, it's our
buffer?
conservation setback. Yeah.
Gotcha.
view shed buffer.
Yeah, view
Yeah.
shed. Thank you.
Okay.
Thinking of the word.
Oh, so they're only gonna put mostly the houses on that side. Interesting. Does that not seem different than last time? Didn't it seem like houses were gonna be on both sides?
I thought so.
I don't
thought it was
recall,
like
honestly.
even.
I did too.
I can
It
give me a
could be
second.
when they
I'll
put that
check the
trail
previous
in, it might
packet.
have affected
Maybe.
that to some degree.
Maybe.
I'll check the previous packet really fast. You want me to?
I like the fact there's so much conservation land.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
We know what they're doing. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you, so I'm probably jumping in at a bad spot. Sorry about that. Do you know what they're doing? We used to have houses kind of right over that sewer line. Were they too close to that to meet the offsets, or why did they get rid of all those? Do you know?
So you guys are right. The orientation of this subdivision has changed. There used to be houses on both sides. I am guessing that it probably is the setback requirements that has forced them to change the orientation of the plots.
Yeah, that makes sense. They seemed a little close. You know what they're doing in there, or have they talked about what would be in there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Rohit when he gets back, but I imagine it would just be open space, but maybe or for conservation. I'm really not sure.
Conservation
I
land.
mean, I'd almost rather than flip flop it and not have the houses back up to
Marvin Creek.
Marvin Creek.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can either because the easement around there.
But can't you move the road closer and like to Marvin Creek? And even put the trail on the Marvin Creek side so it opens it up some?
Well, I tell you what, whoever bought that land just lost a lot of money.
Yeah, they did.
I will make a note of that and ask Rohit about road, looking at the orientation of the road and the houses, the fact that it has Marvin Creek and the open space.
And even the trail, because if you flip it on the back side, it opens up maybe more. I don't know.
I'll ask him what's feasible. I don't know the topography, or.
But obviously they thought they could put houses there because that's what their
Oh,
first
okay.
initial,
You're right on that.
initial go at it. Now, obviously, maybe looking more in depth, but they figured out that they couldn't. But it would be something to ask to get those. If they're only going to be that number of houses, they can get it off, the Marvin Creek neighborhood. And
Is the dotted line the floodplain?
This is the view shed. This is the view shed up here.
This
here.
Yeah, that could be where
That's the easement. Let's see.
Yeah,
What is-
that might be more of the issue there, is because
That's
they
the
might
property,
lose any houses down.
according to-
It
corner
says
of the-
FEMA flood zone is here.
Ah,
That's that.
that makes sense.
But that's far enough away.
Could you repeat it? Because
Is
there's
it-
really nothing over here.
Okay,
Sorry.
I think, isn't there a creek that runs through there?
Yeah,
So that's probably where it will flood, yeah.
and I think if you see, there might even be a little floodplain in the backyards of that
Mhm.
those three houses there. So
Yeah.
that might be the only way they were able to get a few more houses in there.
So that's probably what's limiting us if we want the travel easement.
But let's just ask the question.
I've got 'em
Or
already.
Have Rohit ask the question.
Yeah, I got them written down.
Cool.
All right, the next item on the agenda is discussion of Marvin Gardens change of flowers.
Okay, so Rohit brought this back after you guys talked about this at the last meeting. They have said they were thinking something along the lines of, I'm not familiar with this plant species, but dwarf you want to take a stab at this? Bob?
Sasanqua?
Sasanqua,
What is
Camellia?
Yeah, japonica. Yeah. Where is it?
Is this the
What are you
one that we
reading
talked
from?
about?
Dwarf, Sasanqua.
proposing
Sasanqua
that
camellia.
together?
Yeah.
With the boxes in the front of public.
Yeah, in front of
That'll
Publix.
that'll be really pretty. Yeah, they're beautiful.
Are you guys fine with that selection? You want me to look it up, see what it brings up on the
Yeah,
screen?
well, there's some pictures on the back. Is that what they're showing, or?
I am not
They're
sure
not
if that.
showing them
I
as
think
one.
these are the current boxes.
Oh, okay.
I'll pull up the species of flower.
Surprised they didn't do Sasanqua japonica though.
Did you hear what species that was, Christina?
Guys, I'm really struggling to understand anything.
It's
just
gotta be
garbled
complete like it was
and-
last time.
Let me go. Let me get
We're
the
trying.
extension.
I don't know if Dan's doing better than I am.
No, he's
No,
not.
I was wondering if the computer, sorry to be,
Like, you are crystal clear, Dan. It's like you're in my
Well, I know.
head.
It's,
I was wondering if the computer is using the wrong microphone. Anyway, we've seen that happen before.
Oh,
it's whatever you guys did last meeting to fix it, it fixed
Well,
it.
it's still that way. But what we did last meeting was the extension cord essentially died, so we just unplugged the extension cord so it doesn't reach as far. But maybe, let me try this.
Because I know what you guys are going through. I did it another meeting, and it was
This
awful.
one. Okay. Just give me a second. I'll show you this fixed.
John, what is the rule about attendance at PRG?
This is the first time ever that
I believe that if there are a certain number of
being
absentees, like 2 or 3,
I think it might be two.
I think 2 or 3 within, or within a year even.
Is that any better?
Can you guys hear us better?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
There you go.
That's what it was.
Council then has the right.
Good job, Dan.
to place a member.
now you're the computer guy too.
I do everything in my company.
I understand that very well. I used to be there too.
Okay, so
That's working better.
So I'm gonna pull up. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up the species of flower.
Christina, can you hear me?
I can now. That's lovely.
It's
First time I heard your voice.
what they're recommending is a dwarf Sasanqua camellia. And they're beautiful.
Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh.
You know what I'm gonna say, right?
Oh,
It's
I know
not
you want a native plant.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Yeah,
Those
well,
camellias don't do anything for anybody, but I mean, they look nice in the winter.
they look great. The foliage is beautiful year round. I'm just surprised they didn't go with a japonica versus a camellia, but
Camellias aren't they're expensive, aren't they?
oh, they're both expensive.
Oh, they both are.
Yeah. The difference is the Sasanqua
Yeah,
japonica
yeah,
has smaller flowers,
Yeah.
but a lot more flowers,
okay,
and they last longer.
okay.
The camellia has bigger blooms, and they don't bloom as long. That's the difference between the two.
But it is gonna bloom in the winter, right?
Yep.
And not the
Yeah, so you'll have a bloom in the winter and the rest of the year, about, what, 10 months out of the year, you'll have green.
Very
It'll look like a green
pretty
shrub.
foliage. But they do require upkeep, and who's paying for the The upkeep.
That's them.
That's them, yeah.
Well, then
Yeah, that's-
you're good to go.
So you're,
Well, if they're willing to do upkeep, then that kind of opens up a lot more plants for them. If those, I didn't know those guys took much upkeep. I don't have any.
it's
I know
their
if you can-
property.
How big of a space is it? Does anybody know?
Isn't just a few flower boxes?
Yeah,
it's
it's
just a
those, it's
flower
those
box.
boxes, if you remember, out in front of the store.
Yeah. So it's a long skinny spot.
Rowan's got
Yeah.
pictures of them in that deck.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
there's a couple pictures in the packet.
In the packet, there's some
I can
pictures.
pull that up.
Oh,
too.
okay. I can look at that.
Okay, so I'm screen sharing.
There you go.
Let's zoom in here.
Oh yeah, those sad looking.
The sad looking boxes, yes.
Yeah, but they're already falling apart. That's pretty bad.
Look at those little plants.
Yeah.
Now, is that an actual picture of the box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Christina. That's that's pretty bad.
That's a better view.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4 feet.
Yeah, that is a better view, and it does look better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, they need some soil in those pots
Yeah.
as well.
So you guys okay with this? What they're proposing?
Should be free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love it, but it's better than whatever that is.
Well, they're evergreen. And they've got
Yeah,
beautiful
exactly.
foliage.
So do we need a motion for that
Nah.
or anything? Okay.
You're just giving your feedback. So if you guys are okay, I'll make a note of that and
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Good by me. Not that I get a vote.
I was like,
Sorry, I know, sorry. Stay quiet over here, sorry.
Okay.
Cam, you'll know what one of these is soon enough when you go and visit.
I will, I know.
Okay, next item is item number 3, discussion of parking for trail access and interactive trail maps.
okay.
Austin again.
They pull this up on the website.
I do like our website.
Yes,
I do too.
Christina?
Okay, so this is the current trails map that we have on the website, so people can go in, see which trails we have. I think Rohit put your trail descriptions in yesterday, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not showing up for me.
Are you guys not seeing what I'm sharing? Let me switch.
I see your hand moving around.
I got it. How about now?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Nice.
So this is live on the website now. People can actually even do this. They can click. Oh, I'm not doing that. Click this key, and they can actually see where we're putting some future trails.
That is fantastic.
Cool. This is great.
I really do like that. Now I'm gonna go find these things.
And we're advertising these new features too. But the main part of this is for you guys to have a discussion on parking in the future.
Can you zoom in on what you have showing as the existing parking?
So, for example, it's street parking. That's what you all agreed to put on this map last time we talked about this during the joint meeting.
Right.
For parking on the street in Amber Meadows and Tullamore and the Preserve, parking at the park.
And that'll be updated once we have village parking, correct?
Yes, yeah. That'll be right here.
Look at that in
Well,
here.
When do they break ground?
It should be any day.
Yeah,
Christina was telling me about it yesterday.
Waiting on the permits, last I heard.
But yeah, so the main point of this is for y'all to discuss parking going forward, how you envision parking for the future for trails. Are we just doing street parking, or because you guys originally asked to have this back on the agenda to talk about parking more?
I guess more of the direction we got from council. Well, I guess the discussion back and forth was when we talk to developers in the future, you know, whether it makes sense to talk to them, because we had kind of the Tullamore situation where we had some parking that we gave back. Is that a direction we want to stay away from in the future and have them do other things? But then what is the long-term parking? Is the intent for it to be the village hall potentially, but then off of that, you know, mainly just, you know, in the streets? And then if we are going to say in the streets, is there something that we can do that DOT wouldn't have a cow about to make it a little bit safer, or, you know, just some designated areas on the streets that they could pull off and not sink in mud if it was raining, or, you know, things like that, you know, because once you get into pulling off the road on the public roadways, you're getting into grass potentially, or areas near people's houses, things like that.
Well, I have a couple of thoughts. One is there was a concern that was shared that parking lots bring potential trouble on the trail system, and I don't necessarily share that view. I do, however, think that as we connect the trails, that the use of the trails will go up dramatically. Right now, they're just neighborhood trails. If I go walk, and Dan walks them too, if I walk Tullamore, 99% of the time, I'm the only person on the trail, and there are no cars parked over at Tullamore. I walked Amber Meadows this weekend. There was no one on the Amber Meadows trail. I walked the Preserve Trail this weekend. Nobody was on the Preserve Trail. So parking on the road to me makes a lot of sense, because I just don't see, they're neighborhoods and people walk to the trail. Dan, disagree with me if you want.
No, I totally agree with that.
But they're neighborhood trails right now, and they're not connected. What I think is appropriate for future discussion is, as we link these trails, do we need a common parking area? And if so, when? But not right now, just use the street.
Yeah.
And to your point, John, if we have a developer come in at an appropriate time and all of a sudden we're linking everything up, maybe we talk to them about putting a parking lot in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess my concern is that, I know we talked a lot about, as neighborhoods get connected, that, you know, they'll have access to more trails. My only concern is that, you know, if you think about all the people up and down Waxhaw Marvin, where it would be a sidewalk along, there's going to be a lot of people that, you know, maybe 60–70% that will never have a connected trail to their properties, you know, or a way to easily access it. So just to make that system more available to that 60 or 70%, if it's the village hall and that'll be the focus and that'll be the trail everybody can go to, that's what they might gravitate toward. But if there's also ways when developers are coming in and you know, the Tullamore was just one situation, they don't all have to be like that. I would think it still might be good to consider a couple of parking spaces, and if they're near the road or right off the road, I don't think you'll see the issues that people have concerns about. I think maybe the Tullamore, because it was tucked more away and it was undeveloped at the time, might be more of an issue. But, you know, people like to hang out in dark corners in the middle of nowhere. If there's some parking things that are just right off the road, that's a little bit safer for those folks that don't have access, that might be what we look to try to do a bit more of.
Well, I would agree with that. I think any of these individual neighborhoods that get developed that aren't on this loop, I think the loop we could talk about that a little bit, but I think there's two really good spots for parking there that are not connected yet, but will be. But then when you go to these other developments, as they come into, and if we get annex different pieces, or if they're in Marvin, having just a pull out with gravel or even paved, that's two spots off the road. Mm-hmm. We can't use public. I don't know. We have to be able to get access to the rest of Marvin, I think, to these trails.
No, that's valid.
Yeah. And I think we have to be prepared that now that we're going to start publicizing them, more people are going to use them. I'm going to prove that. Because I've been waiting until this kind of came out so I could go try it and see if it, made sense to me and kind of be the guinea pig. And I was just looking at it on my phone too, and it seems to work okay on the phone.
I've got a question of the group. As I mentioned, I walked the trails, and what I found was, and Dan, I don't know if you found this to be true or not, but if you walk the Tullamore Trail to the very end, the new extension, and you go up the concrete pathway, and you end up at that cul-de-sac, and you cross over the cul-de-sac, you can pick up the Amber Meadows Trail that goes all the way behind Amber Meadows, and then you can take a left and go out onto the gravel portion of the Amber Meadows. Have you done that yet?
Yeah, yep.
That's a nice walk.
Okay.
I was thinking that so on the loop itself, especially when we get Village Hall, that's an obvious place where people can park. We can let them park, and it's great, perfect. And then the other one I was thinking was whenever we do connect my ice cream shop loop here on the Amber Meadows section, there's a reasonable amount of parking there. I don't know if we'll designate it or if we would be allowed to say here. That would be an also obvious parking spot to access the trails. And this would be like a whole connected loop once we kind of get that from Ray Road parking by the whatever shopping center that is there. There's probably 2 spots that will have parking for this loop in the not too distant future.
Yeah, the plate you're talking about, Andy's.
Yeah, right. That whole area.
There's a ton of parking over there. Not that we would, publicize that, but I've never seen that parking lot full. Even close.
Or the storage facility.
Are we allowed to promote? I don't know if any of you've walked Amber Meadows, but there's a gravel trail of Amber Meadows, and it's about up and back, maybe 0.6 miles up and back. But as you're walking that trail, you can take a left onto concrete, and it says Amber Meadows residents only. And that concrete path will go all the way down past Amber Meadows and come back over toward Tullamore, and you can pick up Tullamore and circle all the way back. My question is, are we allowed to promote that, or are we only allowed to promote the gravel portion, which is up and back about 0.6 miles, and it's flat through woodlands, and it's really pretty, by the way.
I have actually spoken to Rohit about this. The prior example he used was Marvin Creek sidewalks, and the reason that they're not on our map is because they're privately owned. And if we were to do something like that, it would be a good idea to talk to the HOAs.
Yeah.
But the roads are owned by Marvin. Amber Meadows. Those are our roads.
Amber Meadows, yes. Marvin Creek, no. So yeah, that's a good point. But I don't. Is that trail a sidewalk or?
It's a sidewalk.
But it is through their property. I don't know how that works.
And Dan's right. It is through it's through their property. It's behind a series of homes, and it circles back around. But it's a great walk. I mean, in total, that walk would be close to 2 or 3 miles.
You can always come out to the sidewalk on Tom Shore and then take a right and walk down the road.
When we take over the roads in a subdivision, do sidewalks come with that, or are sidewalks still maintained by an HOA?
Christina?
Hello.
Because if the sidewalks are still maintained by the HOA.
Some are, some aren't.
It depends on if they're right up against the road or if there's a buffer.
It depends on if we have a maintenance.
Best answer in government. It depends.
Okay.
Do
we know if they have an easement on the trail through Amber Meadows?
Hang on, Dan.
Do we have any easements through Amber Meadows?
Hold that question, Dan. Christina, what sidewalks do we maintain once we take over neighborhood roads?
So it depends on what the maintenance agreement says with the HOA. A lot of times we'll have a maintenance agreement with the HOA, like, let's just say
Amber Meadows.
Amber Meadows. let's say the maintenance agreement with them said, when the developer came in to build that subdivision, that they were supposed to maintain that sidewalk, then that's what would happen. If there's roads that were taken from DOT, like Weddington Chase, for example, and there was no such maintenance agreement that existed before we took that over, then we would have to maintain those. So it just depends on the actual subdivision itself.
Do you know about Amber Meadows?
Amber Meadows, if I'm not mistaken, does have a maintenance agreement. They maintain their own. I'm 99% sure of that.
Okay.
So we would have to get approval in that case,
Yes.
correct?
Except if we wanna walk down the middle of the street.
But you can't walk
That's
down the
what I'm
middle of the street though.
In Amber Meadows?
Not coming from the Emerald Meadows Trail.
From the trail, cause you're not
Yeah,
gonna go.
because you're gonna be halfway down the trail when you
Gotcha.
pick up the Emerald
Okay,
Meadows sidewalk.
gotcha.
Gotcha.
Is that it?
Okay.
Yes, thank
To
you.
that topic, are we gonna connect, in the future plans, I thought I saw something where we actually connect Paul Moore and Amber Meadows Trail by that stream there?
That
That's phase 3.
Yep, I can show it on here too.
I don't know why I'm talking so much, I'll stop.
Yeah, there we go.
Because you
Well,
know
since you're
so
talking,
much.
let me ask you a question. Kim.
Nope.
We,
Oh, you're being legitimate, okay,
yeah,
yes.
ask a question. Innisbrook is potentially getting a connector, right?
Yep.
How-
Potentially,
Potentially,
Yeah.
if that were to take place,
Yeah.
hypothetically.
yes.
How do you think the Innisbrook residents would react if 5 cars showed up and parked in front of the houses that are near that connector?
Probably not very well.
Probably not very well.
They can come park in front of my house though.
I do all the
They can
time.
walk down the street. I'm fine with it. Now, if it were Marvin Streets, I'd say, well, you know, tough, but Innisbrooks aren't Marvin Streets yet. So,
I think they would want to sign those as, residential don't park or something like that if it's not publicly open. Because there are those businesses that are right there that also would get access to that. And if we made the entrance more in front of where the pizza place is, if we put a sign saying, Marvin Trails right at there, that might be the place that people gather to enter, you know what I mean?
but Derek, I also don't see people driving into Innisbrook to pick up the preserve trail.
No.
Well, it doesn't exist, so you can't see it.
No, but when it does,
But you don't know. I'm just saying, I
I
was just
don't
speaking
know.
hypothetically.
I don't know, but I can't imagine that that's where they would go to pick it up.
But as a board, and I'm not chiming in because I'm not on the board, but it sounds like the board is promoting or okay with the idea of publicly promoting parking on the street to access these trails.
I think if they're Marvin owned, then yeah.
Well, I would
And that's
say-
what I'm hearing.
I was thinking you were at the council meeting, or council was saying if it's a public road, not necessarily Marvin or state maintained, but if it's a public road, that the public has the right to park on
They
the side of
do.
the
Well,
road.
they do.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, so I didn't understand why you're saying specifically Marvin roads.
Because I'm
that's
just
a public
saying,
street.
it is, but Derek said, how do you think the residents would feel? And my honest answer is probably not very good.
Yeah.
So I would feel more okay. I mean, they can park wherever they want. It's a public street.
Yeah.
But I would think it would be a little more say, well, it's Marvin maintained, it's a Marvin trail. So, but they can go park, in front of anybody's house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a public street. I'm not saying right or wrong.
When we
indifferent.
develop that, we can make the entrance not right in front of the Innisbrook people. We can put it right where that end is over here down by the custard place or the pizza place.
With that
Two
appropriate.
different areas.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Again, I think as we transition from neighborhood paths, which we have, to, connected trails, how we view parking is going to be totally different. Because I think the usage, I agree with Christina, I think the usage is going to go way up. Because people are going to be able to walk great distances either you know, people bike too, for that matter. And
But I also think more people are gonna walk it. Like
Oh,
I would walk to the back of my neighborhood, pick up that trail, and then go to the other side.
I just
Whereas
don't-
I'm not gonna drive.
I don't think people realize how pretty the Tullamore and Amber Meadows trails are.
Yeah, they are. Pretty.
They are very, very
I have
attractive.
been on those.
They are very
I
attractive.
need to come up here myself and do that.
And I think, if we can do the connector to the, Zotti's Pizza area as a phase,
That'd
I
be
think it is a
great.
safety thing, too, because I see a lot of families from Marvin Creek and, well, my family as well, trying to get to the pizza place or Andy's on bikes and things like that. You have like toddlers on bikes riding along the road on a sidewalk that is immediately on the road. It's just not a safe situation. So if we could connect that up sooner rather than later, that's a safety thing, I think.
That'd be great.
I'll have to see.
addition.
I don't know if we've talked. I don't know if we've spoke to that developer.
That one's gonna be a while, Dan, because they were gonna finish those townhouses there, and once they are done and dusted, then they're gonna look at getting us that property. So that is not gonna be anything that happens, I would say, within the next at least year, probably 2.
Can we come off of the Amber Meadows right now? Is there a way to get that development there? No.
No, because we go from our property to theirs, right?
Man, I don't know. I don't know that.
Hey Dan, you know the swim club across the street on Tom Short?
Yeah.
Judy and I parked over there.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we asked the question of the owners if we could just promote people parking. We're only talking 2 or 3 cars. I mean, we're not talking huge numbers of
Storage
cars.
facility right behind that. There's never anybody
But in there and see if, and
That's
all
where
you
you
do
should
is,
look.
all you have to do is walk across the street and pick up the trail.
Yeah, that's really, you should really look at the storage unit, because the.
And I don't know if they'd allow us to do it or not, but that's
Well, if
pretty
you look at
simple.
the entrance to that Amber Meadows, it
Right?
actually has gravel, what could be almost gravel parking now if there was a ramp up to it. You know what I mean?
I do.
You can easily park 2 or 3 cars there on
Yeah.
gravel that's already gravel.
Well, that's true. No, that's true too. You're talking right off Tom Short, correct?
Yeah, if you look at it, it's a whole, it's a DOT, or sorry, not a DOT, it's a county entrance to the,
Right.
To the sewer line.
Yeah, it's cordoned off. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and so they have a big, it's actually a pretty wide entrance
Right.
with like gravel,
Right.
more gravel than you would need for just the trail or entrance. So there is almost parking there now.
so I guess for the purpose of today's item in terms of, you know, the parking, what we would say is that we want to continue to promote, you know, safe ways for them to be able to park off street, but that we will continue to work with developers for, you know, designated parking areas that provide access to trails where they make sense, you know? And that might even be the case, maybe you talk about the Max Swim Club, if they've got some property at the front of it, you know, who knows, maybe, you know, we could go to existing places where it might make sense to put in a parking area and talk to a business or a homeowner about putting, you know, 3 different, you know, just a gravel spot or something like that.
Or allocate
that
3
people can
parking
safely
spots,
park,
yeah.
so.
And
I apologize for railing things, but could we go back to that slide up a little bit there, Austin? I do think if there's any way that folks that own the shopping center there would let us connect that sooner rather than later. I do feel that is a safety thing. If you look at who's coming from like Marvin Creek and these other neighborhoods.
Can you go to a satellite view of that?
yes, Derek. When do you know when Tullamore Phase 3 is planned currently?
I don't.
I don't know if that's next year or not. I haven't looked in a while. Okay, is that good, Dan?
Yeah, so if you slide down a little bit, you can see the shopping center.
Shopping center.
Right there.
Yeah, the shopping center's right there.
Right there, where the
Right
pizza,
there.
Rosati's Pizza is.
Stop.
So if you look at the end of Amber Meadows Trail, it goes, there's maybe like, I don't know, 100 yards or less,
Right.
and then there's a stream crossing, and then there's also a retention structure that is whole parallel green portion that's parallel to the parking lot there, which has berms you can walk on, or that would be suitable for walking. If you could get to the berm of that retention structure on the backside of their development there, it's actually probably where we want the entrance anyway to the trail if we're not going to put it in front of the Innisbrook homes. So,
Well, Innisbrook is near Firethorn.
or not Innisbrook, whatever. Who are these people are?
Amber Meadows.
Okay.
No. There's a development of homes right next to these.
Town homes at Audrey, I believe, or something like that. Towns at Audrey, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, if we could connect that up, I do feel that we have a situation where, some toddler's going to fall off that sidewalk and get killed.
How do you know how large that McBride branch is? Is it because we've gotten into looking at traversing some of these creeks and things like that, and with the engineering that you need to put in, those can get pretty costly as well. And I know we eventually want to do it.
I guess it depends on how you do it.
We want to make sure we only do it once. Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, we built a bunch of them, and they're just a pre-engineered structure that you buy and set on blocks, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I do think if we could connect up to that faster than the development of the other one, I do think it is a safety thing for the population.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying that we'd only want to cross that thing once.
Yeah,
so we wouldn't want to cross it now.
Everything would connect through that, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the call of the pizza and the custard is too strong to not, you want to go across the branch and go get that. And I guess you're going to go down Ray Road to do it.
Yeah, everybody goes down Ray Road, and that sidewalk is terrible because it is.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I don't even know drive over there.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to.
I think it's
No worries.
worth saying.
Is that something you guys want to prioritize?
Absolutely. I don't know why we wouldn't pursue that.
I've been taking notes, everything we've been talking about, so I will convey that to Rohit, and I'll see what we can do.
For those custard people or whoever owns that shopping center, it would be good. I think it would be good for their business.
Exactly. You would think they'd want a piece of that if they were able to help.
Okay.
Sponsor the bridge.
All right. Any further discussion on this? And we'll certainly bring this up because this will be an ongoing item. So we'll bring this up. Probably put it in a regular piece of the meeting to discuss things as we develop them and get feedback from staff. All right, moving on to item number 4 is discussion of Marsh and Union County Education Foundation Grow Fund. And I'll start off with that for a minute and then turn it over to Bob. But Bob had sent me some information. I know a few of us had expressed donating our stipends to this good cause, and I know I just recently received the first check. So Bob had typed up some instructions and things like that on kind of the process to make the donations and so forth. He did forward that. He did give that to me to share with the group, and I didn't really know if I could do that outside of a regular meeting or without running afoul of open meeting, so I didn't forward it to everybody, but Bob does have that information. And Bob, I'll kind of leave it for you to kind of describe that process for the folks that are looking to do that.
100% of us have agreed to donate our stipend to the Union County Educational Foundation Grow Fund. And I've gotten my check, and I'm going to be just informationally, I'm meeting with Mary Sipe this afternoon at 3 o'clock. She was the treasurer of Marsh. I've taken on that responsibility. So what I'd like everybody to do, and John will send out notes on this now, or we'll have it in here. Within 2 weeks of receiving your check, please send a check to me, made out to Marsh, and then I will deposit that in the Marsh account, and then I will make a check out to UCEF, and just make sure everybody's comfortable with this. And Christina knows this. The North Carolina Wildlife Federation audits us once a year. So I don't want anybody to think I'm going on a vacation on this money. So, but anyway, please, so I don't have to bird dog everybody, within 2 weeks of receiving your check, please make a check out to Marsh. Mail it to me. John will send out the details. And but anyway, I appreciate everybody doing this, and I think this is a worthy cause, and some good things will happen as a result. So
I had one question, and I guess this is more to the village, but you know, I just got one check that had a certain amount for the stipends. How often are those checks going to be issued?
You get those quarterly.
yes.
Okay,
But
okay.
well, I'm glad you asked. Here to make this easier, what I've asked, Julie Rothrock, who's no longer with us, but she and I had a discussion. I've also had a discussion. What?
I was going to say she's not left yet. She still works here.
Oh, I thought she. Okay.
She's leaving soon,
Oh, okay.
and then here kind of part time. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, regardless,
she's here sometimes.
to simplify this whole process, every one of us is paid quarterly, and we're paid quarterly based on attendance. So we get $50 for each meeting, a total of $600. And if we miss 2 meetings, then we wouldn't get $600, we'd get $500, so on and so on. So 2 things I'm trying to get changed. One is we are not compensated based on number of meetings. Our service is worth $600, and we're paid once a year, and that's at the end of the year. And if we have an issue with Bob Nunnenkamp not coming to meetings, replace Bob Nunnenkamp. Okay? I don't think we need to get caught up in this. Well, he missed a meeting here, 2 meetings here. So what I'm trying to work with the village on is we get paid $600. We get paid $600 once a year. If people say, no, we're not going to do that, then what I'm hoping is we get paid once a year, and it would be $50 times the number of meetings, but it's done once a year. So instead of sending me 4 checks a year, you send me 1 check a year, and then I give that to the Union County Educational Foundation, which they're fine with. Their fiscal year runs exactly along with ours because they're Union County, so they're a government organization. So they're in no rush for the money. Our first payment, by the way, to them will be July 2021 will be our first check payment to them.
I think that doing that would involve changing at least 2 policies that's currently in place. I'm not quite sure, but we can work through the details.
I just think we need to streamline it. Somebody said that policy was created because there was an individual who was getting paid a significant amount of money and didn't come to meetings. So they established a policy that you'd be penalized for missed meetings. So I don't know the outcome of that. It is being discussed. We'll see what happens. But regardless, please get me your checks right now, quarterly, within 2 weeks of getting your check. And John will send out a note on that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Any questions, anyone? All right, moving on to item number 5 is the discussion of trash pickup and coordination with NCDOT Spring Litter Sweep, April 10th through the 24th. And so I apologize, and Bob can attest that, you know, we don't have a lot of time between now and the 24th. I, along with Bob, was originally thinking that this meeting was last Tuesday.
Christina did too.
The first Tuesday of the month, and as we got close to that date, I think it was Monday, Bob and I think it was, Bob said, oh, do we have a meeting tomorrow? I said, I don't think so, and that's only because on Sunday, I was kind of thinking about, why haven't I gotten a packet?
You guys call or email me if you're unsure.
Right? So that's when I went online and I said, no packet, no meeting. If I haven't gotten a packet by Monday morning, then we can't.
The meeting schedules are on the website too. In case you ever need to check. But you guys can always call me if you're not sure.
Well, it just seemed weird because I know, like, sometimes if it fell on the 4th of July, we'd move it.
You guys moved April and July.
Like, why would we have moved this one? You know,
spring break was last week.
Spring break. That's what it was. But so I apologize that there's an even more or less of a time to kind of coordinate this. But Austin, I sent out an email to Austin over the weekend, and he did yesterday distribute an email to the HOA leaders.
It's on our event calendar on our website as well.
Yeah, it's on the calendar, and I think we'll start to publish save the date. So the intent here today is to talk a little bit more about the specifics of that day. And what I will say is, I remember doing these a number of years ago, and you know, our neighborhood always did it, and we'd contract and coordinate the dates with, you know, when the village was doing it. But it was rather simple. They would drop off the bags, you'd fill up the bags, and then put the garbage. There are some more rules. The state DOT has gotten more involved in it, and of course there are more rules kind of evolved around that, because, you know, more than anything they want to promote not just picking up litter, but that we're doing it safely, you know, which you know, certainly everybody understands. So I did get, there's a volunteer, his name is Mike Winchester, who has reached out to us. The state DOT normally supplies bags and, you know, plastic gloves and things like that, orange vests that they often have. And I also spoke to Representative David Willis, who's been interested in helping to promote this. And there's, with COVID and everything right now, there's some pressure on being able to get a lot of these items. So that's why Mike Winchester stepped in and said he has some of these things that he can provide for us. One of the things that they're asking for that they didn't necessarily do in the past is sign-up sheets, right? And that creates kind of an interesting dilemma, because if we're kind of leaving it to the HOA groups, we have to get that message to them and, you know, have them kind of do their sign-ups. So where it used to be, they would just kind of meet on their own and within their HOA group, and we might assign, you know, the public road in front of their subdivision, and then they do, you know, break up into teams to do the streets within their subdivision. We kind of now are going to have to ask the HOA group leaders to potentially stop at, and we're thinking at Marvin Eford Park at 8 a.m.
That's what's been publicized.
Like okay, so that we'll kind of meet there as a group. We can have some sheets that they can use for sign-up sheets. We can distribute some bags to them and stuff there, along with, you know, what areas we'd want them to do. And
John, are we going to have a specific date?
24th.
The 24th. Yeah.
Let me ask this question just so I have it, make sure it's correct on our publications. So is registration for everyone at the park, or is it just HOA leaders coming to the park?
Yeah, I was thinking the registrations is more because they want to have these sign-up sheets done, right? So I was thinking more the HOA leaders show up, not everybody that they're going to have meeting at 9 to 11, you know, that they can then bring that information back when they meet their groups.
I'll need to reword things. I thought it was the other way around, but I'll fix that.
I just thought it's going to be too much trying to get, you know, so I was thinking HOA leaders and any other interested volunteers that are doing it not through an HOA group.
So HOA leaders come to the park, get their forms from us, and then they go back to the neighborhoods and get people to sign up there.
Correct. And then other people that aren't part of an HOA or things like that can also come to the park.
A quick question
as well.
You know, we're a small neighborhood. Dan and I live in a neighborhood of 39 homes.
Yeah.
And we only have a very small footprint in terms of road frontage. Are we going to be assigned an area to do, or how do we prevent ourselves from overlapping other people, or how's that going to work?
That's what we're here to kind of talk about now.
Okay.
So, you know, what I was thinking was that we would take some of the public roadways that are in front of certain HOAs, and we don't even, I don't know if you've gotten any responses to your email back, but we don't even know, you know, we told them we'd get them more information after today. We'll get that information out to them, and then we'll have to see who's even coordinating and responding. You might only have half the HOAs do it.
I can send them a follow-up email after we kind of hash this out.
Yeah. So what I would say is that we ask each HOA to, at a minimum, do, you know, what's in front of their neighborhoods or public roads that adjoin their neighborhoods.
Okay.
And we'll kind of be able to plot those out. And then from that group, depending on what responses we get through the week, then on that Saturday morning, you know, we can assign some other areas to groups.
I will say the HOAs are bad about responding. Most of them will not respond at all. Just fair warning.
Yeah.
Hey, Kim, this is addressed to you.
I'm listening.
There used to be an HOA Presidents Association. And
Mike Gilboy's
which
group,
was
yeah.
a great idea, in my opinion. And Kim shared with me that really that's not functioning any longer.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
I was invited to those, and it's been a year and a half.
Is there any way we could get that reinvigorated? Because there's no reason in the world Austin should send out information and get no responses from HOA presidents.
It is very hard to.
I don't disagree with that. I think you just need one HOA president to say, I'll do it, and just take it on and coordinate it. I mean, all the information's out there. Like, you guys have all the information. It's just a matter of getting somebody to do it.
Well, I'm gonna get up with Mike
Okay.
and speak to him.
Okay.
I know he got frustrated,
Yeah.
and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But I think certain personalities have changed and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But there's no reason in the world Austin should spend his time trying to get responses on something like this. I mean, that's just a waste of energy.
I agree.
Yeah,
So if
there were a number of good things that came out of that HOA group.
Well, and I mean, we met.
Some of the things
a
around
lot
the
of
roads
people.
that got improved,
Yep.
a lot of that, you know, was important.
Well, and you just now have a network of people to go and ask things to. It's like, oh, well, my neighborhood wants to do this, so let me send it out to everybody.
They had the sheriffs come visit,
Yep.
you know.
I'll
we
get
have
up.
school
I'll get
board.
up with Mike and
Okay.
see what we can do.
But I mean, it had nothing to do with the village. It was purely,
That's a great idea.
you know, an HOA, you know, idea.
I
So
thought it was a great idea.
I agree.
Austin, do you have just those safety rules just so that
I don't have anything. If a road hit may happen,
you
but
don't? Okay.
if you have something you want to send me for me to send out, I can do that.
Well, and I was wondering about just showing it right now, so let me see if I can.
And I can't access my email from here, so I can't really
Oh,
pull
you
it
can't?
up.
Okay. Well, let me just read off them quickly. Safety rules and guidelines for litter pickup events. Ensure volunteers have designated safe areas to park vehicles with easy entrance. Litter pickups must begin with safety presentation. So the intent here is we would give this safety presentation in the morning at Marvin Eford Park. And, you know, we would also instruct the HOA coordinators to, you know, have that same conversation with their people. We'll give them a list of these rules, and I think we've handled that. All volunteers should be over 12 years old. Groups or participants under the age of 18 should be closely supervised. All volunteers should wear safety vests or bright colored clothing. So, you know, we'll just make sure that we've distributed this out probably to that same group, Austin, and probably put this attachment, you know, when we publish it on the website.
Just make sure to send me an email with instructions. That way I remember everything.
Volunteers should always work facing oncoming traffic and 5 feet from the road's edge. Schedule events during times of low vehicle traffic, Saturday morning. Events must be held full daylight hours, not during bad weather. So if it is bad weather, they don't want you doing it. Broken glass, dead animals, toxic materials shouldn't be picked up. Watch out for fire ants. No horseplay, alcohol or drugs. we can't, yeah.
No mimosas in the morning.
Full bags should be tied shut and left about 8 feet from the road, because, and we'll have to talk to them about where we designate those areas. I'm thinking what we'll do is, you know, we'll designate the front entrances of the neighborhoods, you know, to one area where they just cluster them, and then we'll let DOT know where, or I'd even go around in my truck and bring them to a central place if we need to.
Okay.
The organizers should have a first aid kit available. I think we have one at the park anyway, don't we? And we're going to be meeting there, so. The event should conclude with a gathering of all volunteers. Thank everyone for their time and effort. Again, we can do that back at the park, but we'll also tell the HOA groups that kind of do that to their own. The goal is not to pick up litter, but to pick up litter safely. So that's, you know, kind of what we need to do, and they want these sign-up sheets for whatever reason.
Question. Well, first of all, I think it's great. Second of all, is this going to be, in our opinion, annual, correct, or semi-annual?
Yeah,
I'd like to do it twice a year. I think it'd be great.
So
yeah,
semi-annually,
fall too, or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Christina.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you want to mention Trees for Trash and maybe invite Tara Moore to a future meeting to see if we can tie that into our cleanup efforts.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. We won't be able to do it for this one.
No, but in the future we could invite her to a meeting. North Carolina Wildlife Federation has something called Trees for Trash. You pick up so many pounds of trash. They donate, Christina and I were blown away, they donate shrubs, trees.
Yeah, it's not just trees, it's all
plants. So we would pick what we want from Marvin. If we want, I'm making this up, this hypothetical. Let's say we want to add something to our roundabouts, a plant, or the pocket park. We're talking about doing over at the pocket park. If we raise or pick up so much garbage, they give us so many different plants at no cost.
That's cool.
And they're substantial plants.
Let me find what the plants, I mean, so we've got a feel for this, because what I'm thinking is it would be even better to do it twice a year if we could get that done, because, you know, different things you plant at different times.
Right.
So this time of year would be perfect for something, but if we did this again like in October-ish,
Right.
that would be a great time for trees.
You know, we're doing, you know, a semi-annual thing. But anyway, if it's okay, are you okay with inviting by Zoom, having Tara Moore explain that program?
Yeah.
I think it'd be great for our community.
Well, especially if it's a twofer, right?
Yeah.
We're picking up the trash and we're getting
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
twofer.
exactly.
Christina, do you want to do
and
that?
frankly, if I can't get her involved, we'll just explain it in more detail next time.
Okay.
I like that
We'll
idea
just
a
do
lot.
Well, I think that'll be
Especially for the
great.
pocket park.
Oh yeah, be super.
That'd be great.
I mean, actually, I think Bob just explained it pretty well.
We just need to find out how many pounds we need to pick up and how many
Exactly.
trees and shrubs we get.
I know the answer to that question.
You do.
Yes.
Yeah, and how do they figure that out?
Well,
pick
it's-
up the bag and say this is worth a pine tree and this is
This is only worth an azalea bush.
It's the way the program is structured, and I'm not sure about the flexibility, and Christina will find out with Tara what's involved and how it works. Normally it's 25 pounds of trash per tree.
Okay.
Now, what that flexibility is, I don't know.
Do we have to take it to them?
No, a lot of I'm sorry.
The trash.
No.
So how do they know?
They take. Well, I'm assuming they take our word for it.
They probably have an estimate.
Yeah, a lot of the communities work with the local trash company. where they come out, they collect, they know how many pounds.
Okay.
They weigh the truck or however they do that.
Got it, okay.
So, but, you know, anyway, I think there's a lot of
I like it.
leniency. I just think that it would be great if we can blend the two.
Yep.
I agree.
And to your point, it's a twofer.
I love a twofer.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, because we're already at the, what's the date?
13.
The 13th, so we've got basically 11 days.
Go ahead, step on.
I'll get a communication to you, Austin, that is something that I will send out to my neighborhood, so that it makes it easier for the HOA presidents to send something to their neighborhood.
Just to make sure we're all on the same page too.
Correct, yeah, and I'll weave some of this into that, as to what it'll mean.
Will it be an online sign up or like a paper sign up? Because I did see where David Willis had posted something on Nextdoor and it had a Waxhaw sign up and a Weddington sign up.
Well,
But
he
nothing
said
for
he said Waxhaw's doing it a little bit differently, and I said I don't know how we're gonna do it till we really get to our meeting on Tuesday.
So I'm just wondering if we have like
don't really know how to do
an
that.
like a sign up genius, and you just know who's
Yeah.
coming, and people can sign up, and you just send that out. I mean, that may be a way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I am not sure.
I
I've never used
haven't
something like
seen
that.
the links or what they were using for that.
I didn't even click on them. I just
Yeah.
saw that there were links, and
If you guys want to send like copy and paste a link and email it to me, I can try to look into it and see what I can do.
Yeah, it might be something that might make it easier rather than.
I might not get to
to
touch it till tomorrow or Thursday,
Yeah.
depending on.
But that might still be
Yeah.
easier than collecting sheets and having people do physical signatures.
that's what I'm wondering. And,
Yeah.
I mean, everything's online now. Like
Correct.
It would be.
Yeah, that was in Nextdoor. You
Yeah,
said.
I'm looking right now, see if I can find it.
Don't send me a Nextdoor post. Make sure you actually click the link and send that to me because I can't see the Nextdoor stuff exactly right.
Okay.
Sounds great.
All right.
Also, just to tie in September, Marcia's gonna have, a talk about trees, just general talk. And so that would be a way to kind of lead into cleaning up and getting trees for the trash in October. So, I mean, it's something we could, I think, turn around this year and do in the fall.
Absolutely.
Just be a nice tie-in.
It sure would.
And I
Okay.
just sent Tara an email, so we'll find out soon.
All right. Any further discussion on the trash pickup? All right. Let's move on to number 6, final reminder, statement of economic interest and code of ethics form.
This is going to be brief. If you haven't got them in, get them in. You have to the end of the month. I've given the instructions.
Somebody must be guilty.
Somebody is. Somebody is. And
It's not me.
Is it me? Like, I'll take the punishment if it's me.
it's not you, Dan. It's not you, Dan.
Okay, all right. I didn't
It's
know. Sometimes I
Sherry.
mess up a lot.
Okay.
No, it's Sherry. So Sherry, if you're listening, which you're not, but if you listen to the meeting, then you need to get your stuff in.
All right.
And I mean, John, do you talk to her? Can you call her and tell her? Because
I'll have to get her number. Yeah.
Yeah, I can send it.
Yeah.
here also.
And then the next item
one
is
That's Weddington's.
election of officers.
Sorry. I'm got to talk here. Really briefly. So this was supposed to be done in March. It slipped my mind. Basically, you guys need to elect to re-elect chair and vice chair. So open it up for nominations.
Is there, just so I know, because this has changed back and forth over the years, but I think in the past, a chairman couldn't serve more than 2 consecutive terms.
I don't think it says that in your
Okay.
rules of procedure.
Okay.
So that was done.
John's trying to get out of it.
I was going
No,
to say.
I just know we brought up against that before, where I did have to,
Sorry.
That may have been in an old version of the rules of
Yeah.
procedure, but I don't remember seeing it recently.
Okay.
And I read them pretty often.
How do we proceed with this, Austin?
Make a nomination.
Someone makes a nomination for chair, that person decides whether or not they accept, and then we vote on it.
Okay. I'd like to nominate John Barish as chair for the Park, Rec, and Greenway
John,
Advisory Board.
John, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay, then we'll need a motion.
Do you need
Thank
a
you.
second? Do you need a second for it?
I need an actual motion now.
Okay.
So who makes
That's
the
second.
Bob makes the motion. Who makes the second?
Second. We are all second. Second.
Okay.
Third.
Third.
Okay, now the same thing for vice chair.
Do we vote first?
Oh yeah, you need to vote. Sorry. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
Sometimes we just do that.
All's in favor?
Aye.
There you go. Now vice chair.
I make a motion for Christina Colt to be vice chair.
Do you accept Christina?
I will, since I have done very little to do that.
Second.
You, John. From the
Dan jumped right on
Dan, were
that.
you worried somebody was going to nominate you? You seconded very quickly.
Second, it's out and done.
All right. Do I hear a motion on the table to nominate?
They already said the motion. So you guys just need to vote on it.
Okay. Voting for Christina to be vice chair of the Parks and Greenways Board.
Yes.
I don't have to wait for
Aye.
that.
Yes, you do.
Everyone has to vote.
Okay. Whatever I gotta do, let's do it.
All right.
Congratulations.
There has to be a record for speed, right there.
All right, so that's the last and unfinished business. The next is new business items. Number 1, discussion of 2022 Marvin Day event planning. Derek?
So we have about 14 months to Marvin Day 2022. I was thinking that over the next 2 to 3 meetings, what we could do is iron out the logistics, ideas for what the day would look like, and then that would leave everybody 12 months to kind of take something and run with it. My thought was that I would run point, but that I would, maybe I just have one item that I'm working on, and then each person on the board could take an item. If we're only doing 2 or 3 events, then Bob and Sherry or whoever can collaborate together and work on something, but that I don't know what that day is going to look like, what we want it to look like, so I think we need to discuss that at our next meeting. Maybe each person kind of come up with some ideas. Do we want to do a flower garden tour at the park? Do we want to do a parade? Do we want to try to host a charity golf tournament, a 5K, Village Hall tour? Village Hall should be done by then, right?
Oh God, that's it better be. Or,
or
the contractor's gonna end up paying for it.
A speaker, a marsh speaker. I think it can be a day full of events. We don't need to dump everybody at the park at the same time.
Yeah,
we can't handle that. But if we scatter things out throughout the community and people can pop in throughout the day, and then if it culminates with a parade or a pageant or a cook-off or something, then elbow, wrist.
Since Jamie is like gung-ho about this,
Yeah.
do we want to invite him to the next PRNG meeting to?
I would say if not the next one, then maybe the following.
Okay.
He's already slated to come to at least 2 in the future that we picked out.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got him in his calendar too.
Okay.
For this reason.
Yes.
But let me ask you this though. Structurally, is the intent from a council standpoint to kind of work all of this through PRG?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't intend to have like another committee or group that's okay. I just didn't know if that was one way or the other.
And council is more than, Jamie is all on, he is on board, he wants this done, so
Okay.
you have full council support and we will help however we can. But we just figured that this is probably the best since it's gonna incorporate, hopefully, and
I say that
a trail, we may have a trail tour, for the town hall trail. I mean, so there's lots of things.
Well, and I say that because we may want to then create kind of our own committee.
Sure.
To bring in some other outside experts and people from the community to be on that committee, Good, but I didn't want to do that if that was something council was thinking.
No, we are putting this in your hands, but we will help however you know, we can.
I mean, I think it can be as simple as Bob saying, I'm gonna line up a speaker for Marsh, you know, boom.
I would recommend that.
And we're done.
I'd recommend that you guys take your ideas individually or work in pairs. If you create formal subcommittees of the PRG board, we have to take minutes, we have to meeting notices, all the paperwork.
Yeah. What I
Please don't let me
do
do
is I just kind of want to like loosely oversight, so all four of you aren't planning something for the same time.
And this is on every agenda at every PRG meeting, so we can report back.
Yeah, but I think we iron out the structure the next 2 to 3 meetings, and that leaves.
Can I make a recommendation, Chairman? For the next PRG meeting, can we make it specific to this topic? Because this is going to require a lot of planning
So
and ideas.
it would almost be like we would do a separate work session
on this,
just on, which might make sense and have Jamie involved with something like that.
Because this is a large undertaking and we really need to focus on it.
Let me ask you this question. This will help with future planning. Do you guys want to, like, council has a work session. Do you guys want to have a work session every other month just focuses on this? It'd be a separate meeting. And we could change your meeting schedule for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think you do that, but I think you talk about it in every meeting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just to update, because I don't think you're not gonna be able to get it done in every other month. Like, it's not gonna get, hold on.
Does a work session require a quorum too?
Yes. If it's a meeting, it's a meeting, yeah.
Well, I recommend a work session on this thing.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I go ahead.
I just have a couple of questions. One is, I'm sure there's a date and I've just not written it down. Is there a date?
We were kind of floating like right before everybody leaves for summer.
You guys have a deadline to pick a date, actually.
School. Yeah.
June 4th.
So we don't have
have.
Yeah,
That's the first-
we were talking about
First Saturday in June is what I have.
Yeah.
June?
Yeah.
Not this June, next June.
22, Christina.
That was a tentative date, and you guys were formally deciding one later.
You know, we might even want to pull that up a little sooner.
I would.
You know, because number one, people start fleeing as soon as the school is out and stuff like that. I'm thinking maybe if you have it almost that month before, you might get a little more milder weather, you know, for a big outdoor event like that.
First Saturday in May.
Graduations are.
See, that's what you start running into. You start running into graduations and proms and.
You guys have in your.
No, graduations are usually in June.
High school, colleges are earlier.
Yeah.
Colleges are in May.
Colleges are in May.
One thing
Okay, sorry to bring up the date thing. Clearly, I just thought there was something should be on the calendar, and there's not.
It should.
We have. This is what's currently on the calendar. By the July 13th PRG meeting, Jamie will be here, and you guys are to have a day picked that day.
Yeah.
So that's what's in the calendar.
So you guys have some time to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Then what we need to know is when. we can look at this year maybe as a gauge, because this year's going to be weird. When are college graduations, when are high school graduations, when's the end of school, and we can work around that.
Yeah,
Right?
high schools I know are always that first weekend in June, and that's why I said pull it back, because we always have our neighborhood picnic, and it's almost always on the day of graduation, that first Saturday.
So maybe the weekend before Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
That actually might work. That actually might work. Colleges are usually the first 2 weeks of May.
That's usually like the 21st or somewhere around there.
Yeah. So the other thing, my other comment is I am on the committee that puts together the Heritage Festival, which is in September. And I'm going to tell you, we have monthly meetings. They go on for 2 hours. Sorry to scare you. They've been doing this thing for 8 years. They know what they're doing. Now, it's a bigger deal than we were doing the first time, I hope. But it is a committee of, 10 to 20, depending on the day. And, it's a day event. It has a 5K. We have bands and food and the whole 9 yards. It may be sort of what we want this to be one day. We have vendors, all kinds of, booths and stuff like that. We have a raffle. So it might be worth putting that on your calendar to go visit. It's the 18th of September. in Monroe, at the Ag Center. So you can kind of get a feel for the size of that. We usually have 1,500 to 2,000 people show up. So, just thinking about all that. But it's a lot of planning. So we might want to think smaller than this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
what-
think
what-
we're thinking like crazy this year, but something.
What I was thinking is that throughout the day, throughout the village, right? We have a number of events going on. It might be nature trail walks, over at certain designated trails. It might be a garden tour,
That's what I
that
was-
might include not just the Marvin Eford Park, but individuals that want to open up their home gardens. I could talk to some of the horse people in my neighborhood that used to do the mayor's events, to do some dressage and those things. And if we really wanted to kind of draw the community together, the only place we really have available to do that could handle parking is the school.
Yeah.
So do we work the school into this, where at the end of the day, the culmination of this whole thing is everybody coming to the school and maybe doing an event in the stadium or something like that, we'd have the sports schedules, all those other things, but, and
But simultaneous events going on that you kind of self-direct yourself.
That's what we need.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 times a day, they're doing dressage at one of the worst places. 2 or 3 times a day, they're doing this over there. So people can pick and choose from what they're kind of traveling around. Hopefully the traffic is kind of dissipated by doing it that way. And then if we do want to draw everybody together that evening, you have something, over at the school, if possible. I don't even know, but that's just me. That's the only place we can have enough parking for people.
Yeah.
No, I think that sounds like a good skeleton of an idea there.
I do too.
Well, let's just bounce these ideas around our work session. We just need to pick a date to do it.
Let me think about this. If you guys are going to schedule an additional meeting, do you want it every month or every other month? Do you want a work session every other month, and you guys still talk about this at every meeting somewhat still? Because I don't think you guys need 2 meetings a month
for right now, and then as we start to get into actual planning, we may add.
So let's give a hypothetical. Do you guys want one in May or June to be a work session?
Probably June, because we're going to have another meeting in 3 weeks anyway, right?
Yeah. So let's say if we do one in June, you guys will. I'm assuming you'll want morning.
Actually, I would say even let's do one toward the end of May, because that'll be right about the time we might be looking to have it. We can kind of look at the schedule of what towns everything's having the events.
Tuesdays are.
Yeah, right now the weekend before Memorial Weekend is the 22nd, just to give you a feel for that.
John, do you want a day meeting or an evening?
I recommend day for you guys, but
Yeah, I'd say day 2, because you're
going to run another board.
Most of us seem to be flexible, and it keeps staff hours more compact.
Sure.
So, okay, so if you want to do a work session in May, would you want to do the 18th, the 20th, or the 25th?
Can you send out a thing? I don't have a calendar, so I can't.
Well, I prefer not to do a doodle poll over this because it's like hurting cats, but
difficult to
Let's
do you want to do like the
25th for now, and then we'll check
What is it?
calendars.
It'd be the 4th. It'd be the 4th.
25th.
May 25th. It'd be the 4th Tuesday of the month in the morning. So we would do that every other month. And what I'll do is that way we're not having to schedule these every time. I'll amend your meeting schedule and bring that back at the next PRG meeting for you guys to review and adopt. And it'll have all the dates through there.
9 o'clock start time?
We can do the same time just to keep it simple.
Okay.
That's the goal. So I will do that every other month through. I'll just do through the rest of the year since that's what the schedule is. I'm in.
Well, the only it's not really a problem, but that is also the day of our marsh presentations. We stop those over the summer, so it's not that big a deal. But
are those in the morning too?
No.
not in the evening.
6:30.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll leave it like this. Everybody
fine.
check their schedules and
Mhm.
we'll work off from there.
Sounds great.
And I'm going to send you Sherry's contact information about the forms. You just
Yeah.
kind of give her a rundown on
I
this
will.
discussion. Oh, cool.
Okay.
So I'm good on this. If you guys,
Okay.
We're
Austin,
good.
will you send me calendar updates?
oh, just like to add these to your calendar. I'll do it for everybody.
So Austin, we're back to you just for a review of action items.
Okay, well, I'm gonna follow up with Rohit on a lot of this stuff, but I'll talk to him about the Amber Meadows sidewalk you were speaking of, about the connector to Rosati's, looking into parking at either the storage facility or swim club or just alternatives. I'm going to work on that communication piece with John for the litter cleanup event. I'll look into electronic sign-up forms. I'll see what I can do, but since we're on short notice, this might have to be for next time. And I'll get you, John, I'll get you Sherry's contact information. And I will draft an amended meeting schedule to add work sessions to every other month.
Sounds great.
And I'll follow up with Rohit on the Marvin States at Marvin branch, possibly changing their concept plan.
Okay.
And now the list from you guys added last time.
Yes.
Kim loves this.
I do.
Derek, where are we with new park signs?
There, I have them.
The new entrance signs they were talking about, in like a triangle shape.
Oh, I'll have to follow up and see. Was it all approved here?
They agreed. You guys agreed, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all approved.
Then I just
Yeah,
need
we
to,
saw them at the last meeting.
then I just need to get it ordered. I missed that last meeting, didn't I?
That was the one I took notes for you at.
Okay.
Christina.
See, aren't you glad we have this list right now?
See?
Derek's like, no.
He's pointing at me like you don't want to do it. I didn't. Christina says, check on sign designs for the park. I don't know what that referred to.
So,
I think it had to do
well,
with
the
the same
last time we
sign.
talked, I was gonna look into getting the sign design, but then Derek sent what he did and it looked like it was done. I sent an email back out and said, do I still need to do that? And I didn't get a response, so.
I didn't see that, so I'm not sure.
It's a quick design to do, and I've got a printer that might be cheaper. I don't know what his price is, I don't know. I'm happy to do it though.
We can let you two connect on that.
I'll reach out to you.
Okay.
Can you not see?
Prescription.
Let's see.
Other ones?
I left them in the car.
Okay. Sherry just needs to submit her forms. We're working on the communications for the cleanup day. Christina says, check with Girl Scouts about projects for the pocket park.
Okay, where were we with the pocket park?
Yeah, I will do that when we get a little closer to having a plan.
Okay.
They're on my list. I've got a rather long list of people that I hope will help, but you know.
Where are we?
I have contacted the master naturalist director to see if she would allow us to use hours there to count toward our volunteer hours for master naturalist, so that I'm going to talk to her about that.
Derek, once we get the deed done, we can start clearing out, right?
Mm-hmm.
The deed's getting approved tonight.
Do
so.
we have?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, they're approving the acceptance of the deed tonight.
That was my next question. Okay.
So.
And it wouldn't just be the Girl Scouts, it would probably be the Scouts, because they apparently are just Scouts now.
Oh. Okay.
Derek.
What a world.
And in other cases, they're not, so I just call them Scouts. Because it's confusing.
Derek, check with Eagle Scouts about projects for the pocket park.
Inner Wonderland.
Have you had a chance to do anything for that?
I don't currently have any Eagle Scouts that I have,
I've got to contact in Monroe, but I'm not sure they want to do something out this way, but there are so many Scout groups. So certainly
Oh, I'm sure we'll
someone.
get some.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody needs an Eagle Scout project.
Yeah.
I
There
was
should
gonna
be
say,
an Eagle Scout message board or something. somewhere.
isn't there a certain time of the year that they start working on those? Or is it like the whole year? I don't know.
The one that I work with, they seem to always be doing one.
Okay.
I had asked PRG to kind of head up Eagle Scout projects. I'm not sure.
But I don't think we've gotten any, have we?
Well, I think we need to come up with some ideas and then post them on the website.
Oh, okay.
Is what
Let's put that on
we had
the,
talked about.
let's put that on the agenda for next time.
Yeah,
Eagle
I think
Scout
that's a really
projects?
good idea for us to kind of manage that and say what we're looking for, because otherwise you'll just get a lot of park benches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is, the pocket park could use those. And those are nice little small projects, but,
So after the deep.
that's at least what's happened with the MasterCard.
Yeah.
Chaplain
get
probably have to
reported.
review, but yeah, that should be the case.
And once we do that, Derek, then we can start cleaning it out.
Okay.
No, I'm asking.
Theoretically,
I'll have to see about where.
Chaplain will review,
the money
but
from,
yeah.
I can give you the money.
because it's slated for next year.
July.
Yeah, July
Okay.
1, but
Okay. I don't know if we want to be ripping out live stuff. It's easier. Okay, all right.
Okay, so
Can we put that on the next month's agenda?
Eagle Scouts.
No, Pocket Park
Pocket Park.
update, like
Yep.
next steps. And the Eagle Scout thing too.
Okay, I've got both of those. I know Rohit has not had a chance to follow up with DOT about people not cleaning their adopted roads. He told me that he would do that after we get through this litter cleanup event.
Oh, I saw a big post on Nextdoor about one of the streets got done. That hasn't been done in forever. Yeah,
Chokar.
no.
Okay, I'm guessing.
Wax on Marvin.
Kim, Mayor Pro Kim,
Oh, what are we doing?
contact Marvin Elementary art teachers.
Oh yeah, you were gonna do me a letter
Okay,
for the signs.
a letter.
You're
Yeah.
gonna do me a letter.
You said you were gonna put together something to send out to all the elementary school teachers about, for the, Pocket Park, sign design.
Yeah.
We were gonna do a contest,
Content,
Okay.
name,
Yep.
everything.
and then I was gonna send it out
Okay.
to put me and John on that.
And just to, was it design and, this was a question, was it design and name or just design?
Just design, because I think was what we decided on. We were gonna pick like somebody in Marvin maybe that
Okay.
has,
Oh, that's right.
given a lot of
Okay.
time. So
Yeah.
it was really just the pictures.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
There are a lot of people in Marvin that have given a lot of time over the years. And when you designate one person in lieu of other people, I don't know if that's necessarily a great idea. If we want,
I'm gonna vote with Bob on that one.
I just don't see the value in that. If we want to create a sign to recognize a group of people and put it at Eford Park and whatever, I think that's great. But I think when you exclude the majority and include one person,
Yeah.
I just think you stand a chance of alienating people, and I don't see the value in it. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I'm good on. We're good on action items.
Right.
Okay. Next is, board comments. Dan, you got anything?
Yeah, sorry, I always bring one up. So the one I had was, I totally missed the, cause I couldn't hear, I totally missed the initial, there was an action item to follow up with whatever that development's called on Joe Kerr.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was that?
I'm going to follow up with Rohit about the placement of the lots on the estates at Marvin Branch. You guys were talking about seeing if there could be an additional buffer to the Marvin Creek subdivision. You guys asked about potentially relocating the trail or the open space to facilitate that, as well as the exact reason why the lots were changed, and there's a much greater open space there.
That's a really good question you guys added there to you know, because as you can space those a little further away from Marvin Creek, there seems to be a lot of advantages for everybody with all that extra space there. That's a good idea. Okay, no, Keens, I just was wondering.
Okay.
But can I add on to that? Sorry. Can we add on to asking Rohit the question, if this is a new development and we are concerned about parking spaces, do we want to consider having this developer add a couple of parking spaces?
Add trail parking?
I'm asking the question because this is what we just went through round and round about, that when we have a new development come up, do we want to ask this developer, is this a strategic spot, or do we think that it's going to be too close to the 6 Mile Creek that people, like, we may not want to advertise this particular neighborhood as, you know, a good connector?
That's good.
I think we have plans for the loop parking already.
Okay.
I think we, between the two ends, one on Ray Road and one with the village, we probably have nice.
But those are the things we want to keep
But this
in
is
mind.
the thing that we like. This is what we were just talking about. Like this is so okay. All right. I'm totally fine with that.
I can ask her and see what she says.
No. I think we're all in agreement that we don't want parking there. Okay.
All right, Christina.
No comments.
Good meeting.
One thing that I'd add is, Christina, I attended your marsh backyard bird thing, and it was really informative. I do have to say though, it is one of the items is a real bad problem. My girlfriend had taken in her bird feeders, you know, just put them back out probably a week or two ago after having them, you know, not out there for a couple of weeks, and 2 dead pine finches in the last week.
Oh, wow.
So it still is an issue for folks with their bird feeders and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and right now, I think you can take your
But it was a great meeting.
Yeah.
Carol Bowie
It was a great meeting.
Isn't she a great speaker? She's a great speaker.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that for have a speaker series for the 2022
Marvin.
Yeah. Have a snake guy for the kids and all that.
That would be popular.
Copperhead identification guy.
Yes.
Really?
All right.
Everything's
This is
copperhead.
one of the things we're talking about putting on the website. At least some pictures that says not a copperhead, not a copperhead, not a copperhead, not a copperhead.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're working on. Kim, do you have comments?
No, I'm good.
Do I have a motion on the table to adjourn the Village of Marvin Parks, Recreation, and Greenways Board meeting here on Tuesday, April 13th at 10:43 a.m.?
So moved.
Need a second.
Second,
All in favor say aye.
and ciao.